but we still are directing the course of life because we're solid. We're that gravitational force that society, that culture, that people needs. This solar mindset from above, never rejecting the world, but choosing to dominate it. Gentlemen, what's going on? Another great day to be alive. Welcome to the Better Man channel, a channel that represents the idea of becoming excellent men, living excellent lives, achieving a standard of excellence. And I think many times we look at the idea of excellent and think it's some unachievable standard. It's only for those great men, those geniuses that have achieved some higher level that we can never reach. But in reality, excellence is very mundane. You don't become excellent overnight. It's finding those paths that work. It's stumbling across some things that are just happen chance that work for you. And then we put those into practice. What ideas work, what actions work, what ideas don't, what actions prevent us from moving forward. And we create this synthesis that creates a whole and helps us to be more well-rounded men. So this channel is about being excellent. And I want myself to be excellent. I want men to be excellent. So I want us to strive towards excellence and not say that it's unachievable. So just resort to resigning ourselves to the sidelines of life. And in that respect of being excellent and having excellent mindset, excellent perceptions, I want to talk about this idea of the Red Pill Manosphere. And while I applaud men, and I'll preface this, I applaud men that want to remove superficial aspects from their life, whether it be in politics, whether it be in women, whether it be in everyday relations with our career and family. Let us remove the superficial facades. So I applaud men that are awakening to that and want to encourage other men to awaken to that. But the Red Pill movement in this manosphere is beginning to take on this ideology of rejecting the world. And the key word there is rejecting the world. And part of being a man, part of being an excellent man is never rejecting the world, but dominating the world we live in. And I want to encourage men to begin to dominate their surroundings, to dominate their life, and not to reject the things that create an excellent standard of living. And when we accept any ideology, not just the Red Pill ideology, but any ideology, it's very limiting because we begin to accept other people's thoughts. This ideology comes nice, neat, and packaged, and that's what is alluring about it. The thoughts are thought out for us. This is how you think. This is how the rest of the world is. And so we take this piece of the ideology, and we take what we like, and we take what resonates with us, and we begin to construct a pillar here, and construct a pillar here. Then we build a wall. Then we build another wall, and we like this, and we like that. And all these thoughts are laid out for us, and we don't have to think, and we just build. And we find ourselves encased and encaged in this ideology, this way of thinking that has narrowed our perceptions, that has narrowed our thinking and our mindset. And that does allow us to adapt to this exceptional mindset, this excellent mindset. Excellence is taking pieces that work and putting those together and create this synthesis of a whole. So we take different perceptions. We take different ideas. We don't reject the world because it doesn't fit into our narrow, limited lens. We don't reject and avoid, because avoidance always leads to problems later on down the road. We've been there. We've avoided the tough conversations. We've avoided the tough introspections at looking at ourselves. We put these things off because they're tough, and so we reject them. But they pile up, and the monster becomes bigger and bigger until we're just left covering ourselves with the sheets, covering ourselves up over the sheets while the monster's under the bed because we haven't dealt with it. And so I never want men to reject something because it's tough, to reject something because it's difficult, and to avoid it and isolate themselves from the world because it's tough and it isn't up to their standard. As men that are created to change and created to assert that dominance and that power and that stronghold. We don't reject and avoid. We come in to dominate. We come in to be like that river that flows. And we bring everything in accordance to that. And what comes into the river is going to flow in our direction. Winds, rain, storms may come, but our perception, our strength is that river that brings everything in accordance to where it eventually needs to go. And so we live in a time of chaos. We live in a time of confusion where up is down. And red pill, that thought process is coming to give people understanding. But it isn't the fix-all situation that a lot of men present it as and fall victim to, thus encaging them into this narrow lens of looking at the world. And so instead of this red pill, I've been working on and focusing on a mindset that enables me to look at truth, to look at the truths of women and dating and the world, and to look at the superficial aspects of that, but also have a perception that doesn't cage me in, but allows me to see the bigger picture and what I can do to enable myself to be a part of that world and not reject it. And I've came up with what I like to call the solar pill. We have the red pill, the white pill, black pill, this solar pill. The solar pill representing the sun. The sun is above and beyond. It's something that looks down on everything. It's something that's powerful, light, illuminating, truth. When light shines on something, you see it for what it is. So this solar pill, this solar mindset, we see things. It allows men to see things for what it is. It allows people to see how the dating scene is, how the world, how politics is. It opens man's eyes to the reality of the world because it is this above perception. But like the ideologies of any other pill or any other thought, it doesn't encage you in because it's not an ideology. What it is a platform. This solar view, you build a platform that allows you to stand above and see everything for what it is. So we stand in the sun. We illuminate. What happens if you stand in the sun for too long? It's going to burn you. So this solar pill is something that is fiery, that burns out the less than thoughts. It purifies. So we take this solar perception that purifies. It's an above mindset that doesn't say I'm going to isolate myself from the rest of the world because the world is trash. I'm going to burn away what is trash, and what's left is going to be this purified view, this purified perception of excellence. And as men, that's what we're called. That's the mindset that we should adopt. We're not this overly pessimistic people, these nihilists that say the hell with the world. And we're not these overly optimistic that say, oh, well, the world's shit, but oh, isn't it wonderful? We're realistic, but we also are realistic in that we need to take action if we want to see change. We don't resign ourselves to the sidelines of life. That's not a man. That's not a man that I want to be. I want to put my characteristics into effect and put them into play. And I never want to enclose myself and encage myself in an ideology that is narrow-minded and doesn't allow me to obtain excellence. I want a perception from above, and that's the solar pill, where we stand upright and noble. We can look above. We see everything for what it is. We're realistic, but we also know that an upright, honorable, noble man makes changes. He brings changes about. Men that are adopting this solar mindset are the river of life. And everything has to flow into this river. And there's going to be tumultuous times. There's going to be rainstorms and floods. But we still are directing the course of life because we're solid. We're that gravitational force that society, that culture, that people needs. This solar mindset from above, never rejecting the world, but choosing to dominate it through strong characteristics, through upright mentality and noble mindset. We never position ourselves and dwarf ourselves and stunt ourselves in a limited perception. And again, I applaud the red pill and I applaud the manosphere for wanting men to become better men and capable and able men. But when it hinders our progress by limiting us through this narrow-mindedness and this narrow lens of looking at the world, it stunts our growth. It stunts our potential. And so again, there's this solar mindset, this solar pill where we adopt excellence. We're not rejecting the world because it's not up to our standard. We're accepting the challenge to be that river that directs the course of society, that directs the course of living. And so that all, not just us, can begin to see the to see reality as it's meant to live, not this superficial BS that a lot of society's entitled, less than liberal left culture is trying to bring into fruition. We're men. Society needs men to remove themselves from limited perceptions. Society doesn't need men to reject it. Society needs strong men to rise above limited visions and to begin to see the world for what it is, and then begin to direct it like that river of life into the direction that it can be, that it needs to be. I love you guys. Never limit yourself. Excellence comes through practicing those small things, mixing this thought, mixing that action, and creating the synthesis that creates a well-rounded perception of what we can be and who we are. You guys will hear from me next episode.